Guys, I am not okay, as the title suggests. I am in grief, and I will say that this time, whatever it is, it has nothing to do with drugs. It's not like that other video, family left me because it was nothing like that. Yeah, I am grieving. I'm experiencing a lot of grief right now, and I've put a lot of my personal life on the internet, and I don't intend to continue down that route. So this is not going to be a video where I go into specific details, but when it comes to grief, I think it all shares the same outline. Whether you're losing, a loved one, whether it's a relationship, no matter what it is, you go through a similar pattern, and it has a lot in common with a substance withdrawal. You can no longer get your fix, and that causes extreme withdrawal. I think people are essentially the worst drug, or the best, depends on how you look at it, because there's only one of that person, so there's no substitutes. You can't really substitute it. You can try to numb it, but there's nothing you can do to substitute the pain, and it's like needing to get your fix, and your fix is impossible to acquire, and the withdrawals are severe. This pain is like no other. I cycle through bouts of anger, sadness, despair, just crying, bawling, trying to pick up pieces, fit the puzzle together. It doesn't fit. And when you're grieving a person, even if they're not actually dead, that's what it feels like, because they say you don't fall in love with an actual person. They say you actually fall in love your time spent away from them. So what you're really doing is falling in love with a fantasy. It's your imagined version of them. It's not reality. So when that person does something that doesn't fit your fantasy, like leave you, then all of that facade cracks open, and your smushed heart just pours out. And it often has been trampled on, and it's really hard to pick up all that slime and drop it back into a mold and form it into something that semi-resembles what your heart used to look like. It takes a lot of time. And it's really, really painful. I don't think there's a comparison between losing a loved one, say a death, and a relationship. I mean, there are differences. But when you look at it like that, like either way, the person that you imagined, the thought of them that you fell in love with no longer exists. So it's some serious grief. Often it's accompanied by feelings of betrayal, and it's pretty severe. Yeah, I think losing a relationship is different in that sense. I mean, someone can die and you can feel like betrayed depending on how it happened, but there's really no easy way through this type of thing. There's no fast tracking. Some people try to, if it's a relationship, they try to meet someone new to fill that hole, fill the void. But it usually doesn't work. Those rebound things, again, it might numb it for a little while, but you're going to be comparing all the time, and it's still going to be painful no matter what you do. There are some things in life that you can't bypass no matter how much you wish you could. You just have to grit your teeth and bear the pain. And I have a high pain aversion. I don't like it. That's why in the past I've fallen on things like kratom, because it helps numb pain, emotional and physical. So being forced to go through something like this is it's hard. My creativity's gone. I'm having a really difficult time creating videos, even caring about videos. All the channel stats are down, and it's interesting because it's like, it just feels like everything at once. My channel's not doing well. My entire future has to make a dramatic shift. And it's hard and it's confusing, and it's not always clear how to move forward from these situations, especially if it involves a person that you had, whether they died or you lost them. There's a lot of plans, future plans that you may have been anticipating, looking forward to, working towards, and it's like your entire reality just gets shattered. So there's a bit of a disbelief period. There's an adjustment phase. I'm not sure what the steps are, but the first step, I think, is usually denial. And then from there, acceptance is still far away, because then you got to go through anger and blame, or even shame and guilt. And eventually, as you keep trekking down that road of just a roller coaster ride of emotions, you get to acceptance. And then you go through some waves of still feeling anger and sadness, and then back to acceptance. And then you start looking ahead at the future and thinking, okay, maybe this is for the best, et cetera, et cetera. But it can really dismantle your life. It's probably one of the hardest things that you can go through as a human, is experiencing loss. If you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you know that things with me have always been like a roller coaster. And you know what? I'm the first person to take full accountability for things that I've done wrong, but behind the scenes, it hasn't always been things that I could control. And I feel like coming out of this, even though that light is so far away, I don't even really have a glimmer of it at the moment, I'm going to be so much stronger and so much more stable. I am really going to learn from this and become as strong as I possibly can, because I haven't been very strong. Say I haven't been strong, it's like crying. Sorry, just give me a second. And there's been so much in my life that I haven't wanted to look at. That wasn't right. A lot of the addictions that I'd fallen into were symptoms of something completely irrelevant. I was just trying to numb pain. And you constantly run away from the cause of that pain, because facing it feels astronomically more painful than just the little chips that it keeps knocking off you as it wears you down, and you keep trying to numb it so you can just bear constantly being worn down, and eventually you just are a bare core and so sensitive. And you have no choice but to face it. Literally, eventually, if you keep running from something, the choice will be stripped from you. That's why it's better to face things on your own accord and know that you made a decision to do it, because doing so is accompanied by a great deal of strength and accountability that you made that choice. And it feels like it's something in your control, like it was yours. And when choices, even when someone dies, there's no, you can't choose that. Oh man, life is rough. I didn't think I'd be back here. It's interesting how your biggest fears always come to light if you don't really, if you keep running from them, especially. It's almost like it attracts them faster. So where am I going with this? I really just yeah, content was going really good. This is the theme. If you guys know, I was starting to make consistent videos. I have this editor on tap now, and the video progress was smooth sailing and following my same pattern as always. Something, a fucking asteroid hits me. It either knocks me off course or creates such a big shockwave that I'm just knocked down for a while and I can't get up. But, under the tears and under the struggle, it's for the best. Even if it's just for the point of facing any loss will build you back stronger. You're going to have more tools on that tool belt for, tackling future issues. And say in the course of a relationship, it opens space for things that were not available to you before. Just because that space was taken up by something else. And I don't mean like open the space for like a new person. I mean open space for new endeavors, new interests, time to really focus on healing or growing in ways that before were taken over by something else. So yeah, I don't want to say exactly what it is I'm going through because, again, the internet can even be mean, and yeah, I don't want to really give any details. But I did want to make this video because I have always tried to be as vulnerable and open and honest as I can. If I were to go into details, there's just so much to, as they say, unpack here. And it would be against my integrity, really. To do that, I think even when say in instances where people feel like they were really wronged by someone else, it's really hard not to say how you feel without also throwing that person under the bus and painting them in a bad light, and you don't really know what that person themselves might be going through necessarily. And I just straight up, I don't think it's right to say things against other people, say things that can make you look good and other people look bad. I'm sure there's a more eloquent way of saying what I'm trying to say. My brain is mush right now. But yeah, I have no interest in doing that. I would rather just create this video to share with you guys where I'm at right now. And I think this pattern, especially when it comes to my business life, making YouTube videos and trying to advance and grow the channel, I think this pattern of always getting knocked down every time things start going good is over. I'm going to do my best. It's pretty much all I can do. That's it. I've been doing my best for a long time, everybody. A long time I've been doing my best. Sometimes your best is not good enough, no matter what you do. And that is also a really hard pill to swallow. Really hard. Because doing your best cannot get you through, pain and heartbreak any faster. I'm the kind of person who, when they experience something really big or traumatic, I always can find the silver lining. And I always can use it as jet fuel to rocket me forwards, and sometimes in new, unexpected areas. And that is precisely what I'm going to do as soon as I make it through this world of hurt that I'm in. Anyway, I appreciate all of your support. Yeah. As the Asian car salesman said to me the other day, life must go on. Thank you, Lee.